The sun rises over Heartland, but today something feels different. The calm that usually settles over the ranch is disturbed by a call, one that no one ever expected to receive. A name from the past, someone who walked away without a trace, is back, Ty Borden. His name echoes in Amy's ears, bringing with it a flood of emotions, surprise, confusion, and fear. Ty, the man who changed everything, is alive and well. Or so the caller claims, but why now? And why after all this time? It's a typical morning at Heartland. Amy is feeding the horses in the barn. The soft sound of hooves on the ground and the quiet whistle of the wind, the only noises breaking. The silence. The ranch is peaceful, almost too peaceful. But the calm is shattered when her phone rings, a number she doesn't recognize flashing on the screen. Amy glances at the screen, her heart suddenly racing. She hesitates, wondering if she should answer. After a long pause, she swipes to answer. Amy Fleming? The voice on the other end is rough, but there's something oddly familiar about it. It sounds as if it's been years since the person on the other end has spoken. Yes, Amy replies, her heart skipping a beat. The voice continues, but what it says is enough to send a chill down her spine. Ty Borden, he's back, he's been seen, and he wants to talk to you. Amy stands frozen. The phone feels like a heavy weight in her hand, and her thoughts are racing. This can't be real. It's been so long, too long. Why now? Why would he come back after everything? Are you sure? She whispers, her voice trembling. The voice on the other end doesn't hesitate. He's alive, Amy. He's been spotted. He needs to see you. Her mind spins. Ty left with no explanation, no goodbye. He just vanished. Amy remembers that night all too well, the empty space where he should have been, the silence that followed his departure. The pain was unbearable. She never thought she would see him again, not after the way things ended. She can't understand why he would suddenly return now, after all this time. The questions pile up in her mind, but she can't bring herself to ask them. Before Amy can respond, the line goes dead. Her hand lowers to her side, still holding the phone, but her thoughts are elsewhere. She's back at that place, that moment when Ty walked away without a word. All of it feels like a bad dream she's been living in. Was it possible? Was Ty truly back? Amy shakes her head, trying to clear her thoughts. There's no time to waste. She needs answers. She doesn't know whether to feel angry or relieved, confused or hopeful. But she knows one thing: this changes everything. She can't just ignore the possibility that Ty is back. He has to explain himself. He owes her that much. Without saying another word, Amy rushes out of the barn and towards the house, her heart pounding in her chest. She finds Jack in the kitchen, a cup of coffee in hand, looking out the window. Jack! Amy's voice is shaky, her mind still reeling from the conversation. Jack looks up at her, noticing the look in her eyes. What is it, Amy? It's Ty, she says, her words rushing out. He's been spotted. Someone called me. They said he wants to talk to me. Jack's face hardens, his expression unreadable. He puts his cup down slowly, as if processing what she just said. Ty? After all these years? Amy nods, unable to say anything else. Jack takes a deep breath, his gaze never leaving her. He's known Amy long enough to see the turmoil in her eyes. He doesn't need to ask if she believes it. He can see it in her face. She does. What are you going to do? Jack asks, his voice quieter now. Amy's throat tightens as she searches for the right words. She doesn't know. She's never been in a position like this before. She wants to be angry, to scream at him for leaving her without a word, but she can't ignore the part of her that still loves him. It's been years, but that love hasn't faded, even if the hurt has. I don't know, Amy admits, her voice small. But I have to find out. I have to know why he's come back, and what he wants. Jack sighs, clearly torn. He knows how much Ty's return could hurt Amy, but he also knows how much it could heal. He's always supported Amy, but this is different. This is Ty, the man who was once her everything. And then nothing. You have to be careful, Amy, Jack says, his voice firm. People don't just disappear for years and come back without a reason. He's not the same person you knew. Amy. Nods, but in her heart she knows the truth. Ty has changed. And so has she. But one thing remains constant: Ty's place in her life, in her heart. She can't deny it. As she walks away from Jack, preparing for whatever lies ahead, a single thought lingers in her mind. What if Ty's return is the thing that finally gives them both the closure they need? Or will it open old wounds that can never be healed? Asterisk, the day drags on in a blur of endless questions and heavy thoughts. Amy can't shake the phone call from her mind, and the closer the evening comes, the more her heart pounds with anticipation. What will it be like to see Ty again? Will he even be the same man she remembers, or has time and distance changed him completely? Just as the last rays of sunlight dip behind the hills, a truck pulls up to the gates of Heartland. Amy stops dead. In her tracks, her breath catching in her throat. There it is. That familiar rumble of an engine, the unmistakable sound of a vehicle that she once thought she'd never hear again. She stands frozen for a moment, unsure whether to run or to hide. Her instincts scream to protect herself from the hurt that she's been trying so hard to bury for years. But her feet are rooted to the ground. As if some invisible force is drawing her closer, the truck comes to a slow stop, the dust swirling around it like a cloud of uncertainty. The driver's door swings open, and for a moment, everything is still. Time seems to freeze. A shadow steps out of the truck, and there he is, Ty Borden. The same man she loved, but with a lifetime's worth of changes etched into his face. His features are harder now, his eyes reflecting a depth of experiences she can't even begin to understand. He's older, but in a way that's marked by life's struggles and triumphs. There's a quiet intensity about him, a kind of unresolved tension that lingers in the air. Amy doesn't move at first. She's not sure if she's dreaming, if this is some cruel trick her mind is playing on her. Ty's not supposed to be here. He wasn't supposed to return, but there he stands, a living, breathing reality that shakes the very foundation of everything Amy thought she knew. Ty? Her voice cracks as she says his name. It's almost as if she's testing it, seeing if it fits again. It feels foreign on her tongue, like an echo of the past that's been buried too deep to resurface. Ty looks at her with a kind of nervousness she's never seen in him before. His usual confidence is gone, replaced by something raw, something human. He doesn't say anything at first. He just looks at her as if he's waiting for some kind of sign, some kind of permission to explain. I know this is a lot. Ty finally speaks, his voice thick with emotion. I didn't expect you to. Well, I didn't expect anything. Really, I just needed to see you. Amy's mind is spinning. 1,000 thoughts race through her head. Why now? Why after all this time? She wants to shout at him, to demand answers, to ask him what he's been doing and why he left without a word, but all of those questions are tangled up in the raw, emotional knot in her chest. The anger she should feel is buried beneath something deeper, something that feels like hope. Ty steps forward cautiously, as if he's not sure if he's welcome, but Amy doesn't move back. She's rooted in place, unsure of what her next step should be. She wants to close the distance between them, to run into his arms, but the years of pain, of being left behind, hold her in place. Are you ... Amy starts, her voice faltering. Are you really back? Ty nods slowly, his eyes softening as he meets her gaze. I didn't think I was coming back either, but things have changed. I've changed. There's something vulnerable in his voice, something that makes Amy's heart ache. She can see the truth in his eyes. The years have taken their toll on him, just like they have on her. But there's still that connection between them, a bond that time hasn't been able to sever. It's there, in the way they look at each other, in the silence that stretches between them, heavy with unspoken words. For a moment, Amy's world falls silent. All the questions, all the pain seem to disappear. She stands before him, not knowing what to do, but knowing that the reunion she's been secretly hoping for is right here, standing in front of her, but she's scared of the unknown. Scared of reopening old wounds that she's spent years trying to heal. Why now, Ty? Amy finally whispers, her voice barely audible. Ty's eyes flicker with uncertainty. He takes a deep breath, like he's searching for the right words. I've been running from this for so long, Amy, from you, from everything. But I can't anymore. I need to make things right. Amy doesn't know what to say. The words feel trapped in her chest, suffocating her. She wants to believe him, wants to hope that this time things will be different. But there's a part of her that's terrified of falling for the same lie again. As Ty steps closer, Amy feels her heart race, her emotions swirling inside her like a storm. She's not ready for this. She's not ready to forgive him, to open herself up to the possibility of being hurt again. But at the same time, she can't deny the part of her that still longs for the man standing before her. I don't know if I can just pick up where we left off, Amy admits, her voice shaking. It's been too long, Ty. So much has happened. Ty's face falls, but only for a moment. He's prepared for this. He knew it wasn't going to be easy. But he's here, and he's ready to face whatever it takes. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, he says quietly. But I'm here, Amy. I'm here because I need to try. I need you to know that I'm not leaving again. Amy looks at him, her heart torn between the anger she feels for his abandonment and the love she can't deny. The moment stretches out, a fragile thread between them that could snap. At any second, Ty Borden is back. But what does that really mean for Heartland and for Amy? The answers are still unknown. But one thing is certain: everything has changed. The evening is fading fast. The stars beginning to take their places in the sky, but Amy can't shake the whirlwind of emotions churning inside her. After Ty's unexpected return, the tension between them lingers like an unspoken question. Amy needs answers that only Ty can give. Later that night, after a long, heavy silence that neither of them has been able to break, Amy and Ty find themselves standing outside under the dim glow of a porch light. The cool night air brushes past them, but there's nothing cold about the moment. Amy takes a deep breath, her heart still heavy with the weight of everything she feels. Ty, I need to know. She starts, her voice quieter now. She's not sure where to begin, but she knows she has to understand. Why did you leave? You just vanished. No warning, no goodbye. What happened? Ty looks at her, his eyes filled with sorrow and regret. He takes a few steps closer to her, the years of separation between them now closing in the distance. But Amy doesn't move away. Instead, she watches him, waiting for the truth. Ty's face tightens as though he's carrying a burden too heavy to share, but he knows it's time. He needs to tell her. He needs her to understand. I was lost. Amy, I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I wasn't the person you needed me to be. I thought if I stayed, I'd only hurt you more. I thought leaving would make things better for you. His voice cracks as he speaks, the raw emotion impossible to hide. I was running away from myself, and I couldn't bring myself to face you, not like that. Amy feels her chest tighten. She wants to understand, but the pain of his absence, the years without answers, still haunts her. But why didn't you come back? All these years you never tried. You never even sent a message. The words come out sharper than she intends. But she can't hold back the hurt anymore. Ty takes a deep breath, like he's preparing himself for the weight of his own confession. He knows that the words he's about to say may break her, but they are the truth, his truth. I thought about you every day. I couldn't escape it. But I wasn't ready to face you again, Amy. I wasn't the man I was when I left. I had to find myself first, and ... Then I thought, maybe it was better this way, for both of us. Amy's heart aches as she listens, but there's something inside her that doesn't want to hear it. She wants to scream, to demand more, to ask why. He couldn't trust her enough to come back sooner. The anger surges again, but it's quickly replaced with a quieter, more painful feeling understanding. She knows, deep down, that he's not lying. She knows that whatever he's been through, it's taken its toll. Ty, we were supposed to be together. You promised me. You promised you'd be there. How could you just walk away without a word? The frustration in her voice is unmistakable, the years of pain finally spilling out. Ty closes his eyes for a moment, as if absorbing the weight of her words. When he opens them again, there's a sorrowful clarity in his gaze. I know, and I'm sorry. I thought that by leaving, I was protecting you from everything I couldn't give you. But I was wrong. I should have trusted you more. There's a long silence between them now, the kind that's too heavy with history to be easily understood. Amy feels the flood of emotions she's been holding back, grief, regret, love, come crashing through her all at once. She's angry. She's heartbroken. And yet she's still here, standing in front of him, unable to walk away. You left me, Ty. You left us all, and I don't know how to forgive that. Her voice trembles as she speaks, the weight of everything sinking in. Ty steps closer, his voice low but sincere. I don't expect forgiveness overnight, Amy, but I'm not the same person I was. I've been through a lot, and I've had to come to terms with everything. But the one thing I know now is that I can't keep running. I can't run from you anymore. Amy looks up at him, her eyes searching his face for any sign that this is real, that he's not here to break her heart again. She's afraid of what might happen if she lets herself believe in him again. She's afraid of the risk of opening herself up to the same pain, the same abandonment. But then, in the silence of that moment, something changes. The love she's been carrying in her heart all these years, the love that never truly went away, rises to the surface. She's scared, she's angry. But there's also a part of her that still needs him. She knows that deep down, the hole in her heart is something only Ty can fill. I don't know what's going to happen. Ty, Amy says quietly, her voice thick with emotion. But you're here now, and that's more than I ever thought I'd get. Ty reaches out, his hand hesitating before gently brushing a strand of hair away from Amy's face. I know it's not easy, and I don't expect it to be. But I'm here, Amy, and I'm not going anywhere. For the first time in years, Amy lets herself believe him. Maybe Ty's return doesn't fix everything. Maybe it can't, but in this moment, with the weight of the past between them, there's a glimmer of hope that, together, they can figure out what comes next. But the road ahead isn't going to be easy. They'll have to rebuild, piece by piece, and learn to trust each other again. And it all starts now with the courage to face the past and the willingness to move forward. Together, asked ChatGPT the following morning, the atmosphere at Heartland is heavy with uncertainty. The ranch, usually a place of warmth and calm, feels different today, charged with an undercurrent of tension that no one can ignore. Amy is back inside the house, her thoughts still tangled from the conversation with Ty, but now it's time to face the rest of the family. She knows the moment they see Ty, the questions will begin. And the conflict that's been building beneath the surface will erupt. Jack and Tim are already at the kitchen table, their usual morning routine interrupted by the weight of the news. Amy brought them last night. The smell of fresh coffee fills the air, but it does nothing to ease the tension. So what's the deal, Amy? Jack's voice breaks the silence as he stares at her, his eyes hard but not unkind. Ty Borden. Back after all this time? You're telling me this is real? Amy nods, her stomach twisting. She's been dreading this conversation, knowing what Jack and Tim will say. He's here, Jack. He showed up last night. He's really back. Tim, who has been quiet until now, slams his hand down on the table, the force of it making everyone jump. You've got to be kidding me, he growls. After everything he did, he just waltzes back in like nothing happened? Amy's heart sinks at the anger in Tim's voice. She knows he's been through his own set of struggles, but hearing him speak like this only adds fuel to the fire. She opens her mouth to respond, but before she can say anything, Tim continues. Do you honestly think he just gets to come back and everything's fine? Do you think he just gets to walk back in here after abandoning us all? Tim's face reddens with frustration. After you spent all this time trying to heal, trying to move on, he comes back like he never left? No, that doesn't work for me. Amy's pulse quickens and her thoughts swirl. She's already struggling with the reality of Ty's return, but hearing the anger in Tim's voice makes her defensive. She opens her mouth to speak, but Jack raises his hand, signaling for her to stop. Let him finish, Jack says, his tone calm but firm. Tim doesn't hold back. You're telling me he just shows up and we're supposed to open our arms? Like nothing's wrong, he broke everything? He left you, Amy, left all of us. Tim turns to face Jack now, his expression hardening further. And you're okay with this? Jack sits back in his chair, taking a long sip from his coffee before setting it down slowly. I'm not saying I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to pretend Ty's not part of this family. He always has been, for better or worse. The room falls into an uncomfortable silence. Amy watches Jack and Tim, her heart heavy with the realization that no matter what Ty's reasons for leaving were, they couldn't be dismissed so easily. There's a deep wound here, one that goes beyond her own pain, and it's not just hers to heal. The whole family has been affected by Ty's departure. I'm not saying we should just forgive him, Jack continues, his voice thoughtful. But we can't ignore the fact that Ty has come back. And for whatever reason, he's here now. We need to figure out what that means. Amy feels a wave of relief wash over her. Jack's calmness, his ability to see beyond the surface, has always been his strength. But even Jack's wisdom can't solve the deeper issue at hand. Tim glares at Amy, his jaw tight. I'm not just going to forgive him, Amy. You can't expect me to. Amy stands, the urge to defend Ty rising within her. I'm not asking you to forgive him, Tim. I'm asking you to understand that things aren't as simple as they seem. He's not the same person who left, and neither am I. Tim scoffs, shaking his head in disbelief. You can't just move. Unlike that, I won't let you. I won't let him come back and tear this family apart again. You don't get to make that decision on your own. Tim, Amy says, her voice steady but laced with emotion. I'm not asking anyone to forget what happened. I'm not asking for everyone to accept him right away. But I need to try. I need to know why he's here. And maybe, just maybe, we can start healing from all of this. Tim stares at her, his eyes filled with frustration and anger, but also something else. Something softer, something he doesn't want to show. He's scared. Scared that Ty's return will reopen old wounds, that it will hurt Amy all over again. You've been through enough? Amy, Tim says, his voice softer now, but still thick with emotion. I don't want you to get hurt again. I won't stand by and watch him break you a second time. Amy steps forward, looking Tim in the eye. I appreciate that, Tim, but this is my decision, and Ty's return isn't just about me. It's about all of us. Whether we like it or not, he's part of our family, and we need to figure out how to deal with that. The room falls silent once more. Jack watches them both, sensing the shifting dynamics in the room. He knows this won't be easy, but this is the start of something new for Heartland, whether they're ready for it or not. Let's just take it one step at a time, Jack says finally, breaking the silence. We'll deal with Ty, but we'll do it together, as a family. Amy nods, but in her heart she knows it won't be that simple. The family's bond is strong, but it's also fragile. Ty's return is a storm that threatens to shake the very foundations of Heartland. And though Amy knows they have to face it, she can't help but wonder, will they survive it? She doesn't have the answers yet. But one thing is clear, this is only the beginning of the healing, and the conflict is far from over.